Friends, please be an angel and share this podcast with a friend, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and leave a positive review. You can also help us reach more people when you screenshot this podcast, tag me at Angel Podcast, and share it on your Facebook and Instagram stories. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for all you do to support this podcast. Welcome to the Angels and Awakening podcast. I'm your angel medium, Julie Jancius, and today we're sharing your angel stories. Why do our angels and loved ones above show us signs? Yes, they want us to know they're okay and at peace, but deeper than that, they want us to connect with them so that they can help us more from the other side. Friends, it all begins with your intuition, vibration, and experiencing oneness. Your intuition is your soul's voice. It's also how your loved ones talk to you from heaven. In this podcast, we teach you how to turn up the volume on your intuition so that you can hear their loving messages more clearly. We also teach you how to raise your vibration and feel your oneness with all that is. Friends, you are here to love, give love, receive love, be love, radiate love. And because your soul is love, all you really ever have to do is just be. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Angels and Awakening podcast. I'm your host and author, Julie Jancius. Friends, today it is just me, and I'm talking about a quick lesson that the angels taught me this week. And I'm just going to share my story to begin with so that you can maybe see yourself in me. But the ultimate purpose and intention of this episode is a year of love, right? And no unnecessary judgment, because I want to show you how different energies that are very subtle, that are very kind of slick and in the background of your life can really impact you at such a big level that you're really not living your purpose. And I really feel that by the end of this episode, if you're listening, I think that if you really take my words to heart, and they're the angels' words, of course, it will really change your life. It'll change the dynamics of how you interact with people around you, and it'll make you feel different. Because if you do what I'm teaching you today in your life, your energy is going to feel different. How you speak is going to be different. And I think people around you might even go, "What's different about you?" You're going to know because you're a little bit like, listen to this episode, right? Okay. So my daughter and I have always been huge fans. Now, I'm going to preface this way. I keep telling the angels, I can't say that word. And they're like, use the word, it needs to be said. And I'm like, no, you got to bring me a different word to use. I can't use that word. And they're like, Julie, it just needs to be said. I think that the word is miserable. Like, do you consider yourself a happy, upbeat person, or sometimes are we miserable and we're kind of like radiating that miserableness to the world? I don't think we often think that we are, right? But again, we're talking about very, very subtle energies that if you're not aware of, oh, baby, they're going to come in and they're going to wreak havoc. So my daughter came into the bedroom last Friday, like bouncing in like it was freaking Christmas morning. She jumped and leapt onto the bed, and she's like, I've been up since last night listening to the new Taylor Swift CD. She's like, you have to listen. And it's kind of been our thing over the years. She's a freshman this year, but when she was in 3rd grade, I took her to her first Taylor Swift concert, the Reputation tour, and it was just the most amazing thing. It was a God thing. Like, somebody allowed me to buy tickets the last day from them, which always seems to happen. And it's just incredible. And then I got to take her and her friend to go see a Taylor Swift concert. This last time around, it was on both of their manifestation boards. And I couldn't be like, no. I'm like, oh no, I'm the person in charge of helping them manifest this. So, yeah, I took two little girls over to the Taylor Swift concert again. So I go in, I listen to the album, and I'm like, meh, and not like I'm going to sit there and like put up a post about it. That's not the type of person that I am. But my daughter comes home from school and she's like, that day, oh my gosh, I listened all day long on my earbuds. And I think this is the best album she's ever come out with. So then we go and we see the movie over the weekend, where she put together like this documentary about it. And I go, and I know it's going to be creative because I'm a fan of documentaries. I've been watching documentaries since about 1996, just been in love with them. And when you go and you see all about this, what you're really seeing is how Taylor Swift's intuition works, how she creatively goes in and picks out different words, right? She said opalite was just a word that when she heard that word, it was like there was something to it. And she wrote it down and she put it in this. I think she keeps a file on her phone of just things that inspire her. Well, I've talked about this before. There's a movie about the gentleman who wrote A Christmas Carol. It's a newer movie. You can Google it. That came out. I've done a podcast episode about it before. It's got a newer actor in it. When you see him, you'll recognize it. Maybe like 2017, 2018. And in it, is it Dickinson who wrote that book, A Christmas Carol? Christmas Carol. In it, he goes around with a notebook, and when something resonates with him, like a name for a character, it strikes his intuition. You can feel this when you're watching biographies. You can feel when the person is struck by like a boom of divine intuition. Boom, it hits them, and they go, this is it. That's green light energy, right? So you can see it. And what I loved about this show is like, you see exactly how her intuition's working. You see the work ethic behind this woman. You see how she's trying to like perfect it, because when you work with creatives in any different realm, they will always perfect their work. They know that they have more to give. I know that I have more to give. And so you're always trying to better yourself and beat the last take that you did. So you see that. And I think it's so good for young girls to see that. It also shows, what it is to be a boss and how to lead your team. And she's there and, people are walking off the stage after this long day of working for her, doing this huge act for this music video that looks kind of like 1920s, 1930s Hollywood. And here she is, like, she could be in her dressing room, she could be taking a nap or eating, and she is high-fiving every person as they're leaving for the day. And she's like, you did an awesome job. You're incredible. You're amazing. Oh my gosh. Like she's pumping them up. She's thanking them. You could just feel how much energetic gratitude she has. So, so my husband comes home today and he goes, well, this girl came up to me at school and she said, oh, the Taylor Swift album is the worst one yet. And I've been listening to this over and over again on repeat, and I can't stop dancing. I can't stop dancing to all the songs now that I know like the story behind each song. Oh my God, they're so meaningful to my heart and they're inspiring me. And like every song on here, Life of a Showgirl, Ruin the Friendship, Canceled, The Fate of Ophelia. Oh my gosh, if you listen to that, you cannot get it out of your head. You just want to like keep dancing to it. Actually Romantic, Wood, Wishlist is really about manifestation. Life of a Showgirl really shows you behind the scenes what success really takes. Honey, Elizabeth Taylor, Opalite, Eldest Daughter. Eldest Daughter is a song on that track that's really healing to the inner child. So I've been listening to this nonstop and I was like, oh my gosh, I was wrong. I think this is the best album next to Reputation that she has ever put out. It is so soulful. It is so meaningful once you understand everything behind it. that I'm just totally in love. I love art. I love inspiration. I love intuition and creation. So my husband comes home and he's like, oh, another person came home and said it was the worst album yet. And my daughter's face, just sunk. And the angels go, Julie, you have to do an episode of this because people don't remember that we have these sayings when we're in childhood. They don't really understand why we had those sayings to begin with. So if you're listening to this podcast, I know that you grew up with people telling you, teachers, preschool teachers, everybody around you was telling you, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. There's actually energetics behind that. And now we're not saying you don't have anything nice to say. We're saying needless negativity, needless judgment. That is the message the angels are trying to bring through. And if you are like me who said, don't really like the album, just listen, because I'm going to show you where you're blocking yourself in your life, where you're really blocking your purpose, you're blocking your gifts. If we're judging a lot in our lives. So back to that saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. What are the energetics behind that? If you are saying something negative, you are actually pulsating, rippling those vibrations out to the world, okay? And they are going to ripple back because anything in motion cycles back to you. So I'll tell you where I saw this first show up in my life. I was either in college or like the year right out of college, summer right out of college. And I saw a person that came home from getting a haircut, and I thought it was one of the worst haircuts I'd ever seen. And I thought it to myself. I didn't say it out loud, but I definitely judged in my own head. Who did that haircut? Because I don't want to go get the same haircut. And lo and behold, I got a bad haircut the very next time that I went. Didn't go to the same person, but I put the ripple out into the universe. I don't want a bad haircut. And the bad haircut found its way to me. And when I say it's bad, it was like, don't look at this picture type of bad. So then I kid you not, a couple months later, I'm out with a friend and she goes, ooh, did you see so-and-so's haircut? And I was like, no, why? And she goes, it's bad. Like really, really bad. And then I watched her like 2 months later go and get a haircut, and she got the worst haircut of her entire life, right? Like she would not want me to show pictures of this haircut. And I go, ooh, what was this? What just happened here where I thought to myself, bad haircut, don't want that. And then I got one. And then my friend goes, ooh, bad haircut, I don't want one. And she got one. What is it when we put needless negativity out into the world that we get it back, right? The opposite, if you don't have anything nice to say, and I must have said it back then because I know I thought it and I probably would have said it back then. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Whenever something comes up now where I have a judgy thought, because I will be honest, I still have judgy thoughts. They just come in. They just flow in. And as soon as I see them, I go, oh no. Oh man, we are dealing with some big energy right here. I do not want this to come back to me. God, universe, source, please remove all this judgment from my body. I don't want to feel this judgment. I don't want to think about it. I send that person grace. I surround them with love. I send that person angels, just flood them with angels and goodness and everything that they need. Help I'm just praying for them nonstop, right? Like God, give them everything and take this judgment from me, because whatever that is, that judgment ruminating in my mind, I don't want it to come back to me. I know how this game works. I don't want that energy. So I've watched that the more that I do it that way. Boom, judgment comes in. I pray, I release that energy. I say, I don't want to judge. God, take that judgment. You're the judge, not me. I don't want the energy. I don't receive negative back. Why? Because that judgment is coming in as an energy, and what I'm energetically doing is sending love. Massive, massive, massive waves of love to counteract that judgment vibration that just popped into my radar, right? Okay. So when it comes to, again, this new album, there is so much that's on the internet right now. Oh, this is the worst album. Oh, don't take your kids to go see this thing because it's not great. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This thing is one of the best things that you could take your kid to go see. Why? It's a documentary that they're interested in. You're getting them interested in documentaries, which is going to serve them for the rest of their life. You're showing them a powerhouse female who has written songs on this album that have so much strength to them that if you're a creative, which is interesting, the creatives that I know who have listened to this album, they go, oh my God, this is the best. Why? Because they have been through all of the hardships and wear the same scars, as she talks about, that they do, that she does. And so they get it from a creative perspective. This album is so about those who are doing things in the world and showing up in the world. Creatives understand, and they love it. They love the words to it. I'm so grateful to those who keep this show going through your support. Get 3 certifications in one and start your own business when you take the Angel Reiki School online or in person. You get both for the price of one when you register. The Angel Reiki School is in person this November and January. My angel membership gives you the ability to work with your personal angels and your heavenly loved ones every day to hear your own angel messages. Sign up for the annual option today and receive a free 1-hour reading with me to feel closer than ever to your angels. I'm doing readings again out of my house and on Zoom. It's $144 for a half an hour reading or $288 for an hour. Or book me to do your readings at your next party worldwide. The Angel Reiki School membership, readings, and parties are all booked online at theangelmedium.com. That's theangelmedium.com. Thank you again for supporting my work and the work of the angels. Now, let's get back to the show. So going to see that documentary is like one of the best things that you could do for young girls because, oh my gosh, it teaches them how to be creators, innovators, connect with their intuition, and really put greatness out into the world, right? Like, I don't know about you, but there is a whole generation of 20-somethings, and I'm here's where it's not needless judgment. I'm not trying to judge, but I have been talking with bosses and CEOs and people. Did you know that in healthcare, most healthcare hospitals, that their folks who are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, nurses, are picking up the extra shifts that are needed? They were the ones doing this in their 20s, 30s, 40s, but they still have to be doing it in their 50s, 60s, and 70s because there is a generation of kids coming out who doesn't have the work stamina, and they have so many boundaries that they don't know what it really takes. And as I'm working with presidents, CEOs, creators, we're seeing a real problem out here, which is you have a generation that wants to be so boundaried with how they work that they're not getting their work done, versus China, where, I'm not kidding you, their average week, you can look it up, is about 100-hour week. That is what they work. I don't think that that is wonderful either for your system. But when you're looking at Go America versus Go China, and where we're going to be 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, I've said this before and I'll keep saying this. China plays the long game. They say it out loud. They're not looking at 5 years, 10 years down the road. They are actively forecasting, strategizing, and working 200 years into the future. That is like their mission, their intent, their goal right here. We got a big problem, right? And if you want young girls to have a really strong work ethic and know what it actually takes to get in and do a job, this is an amazing album to teach. This is an amazing documentary to go see. I don't get any money from it. I'm not like sponsoring it or anything. It's just energy. And we need to be aware of these energies because our words can be so much like an infection or an infusion, right? And I think a lot of people think that when they're using words to needlessly judge or critique or needless negativity, that they're doing something. I really feel confident saying that a lot of people think, oh, like after they've said it, they feel better about themselves in some way, but they actually haven't done anything at all. So I don't know about you, but I actually really love TV. I love movies. I love the creative aspect of it. There are like a handful of movies who are super spiritual, a handful of shows that are not even a handful of shows, maybe 2 shows that are just so super spiritual that really fuel me. Other than that, all of that time watching TV, I don't think has really served me or benefited me in my life, except to provide some respite, some relaxation. That's it. Okay. So I want you to look at 2 different energies. I want you to look at the energy of action. Action. You are taking action. You are doing something. And as you take action, again, action is you having an intent and it creates ripples of energy that go out. Okay. You have words that you speak. And as you speak words, you either infuse or infect a person. You either infect them with negativity, downness, you just bring the vibration down, or, and this is needless, right? There is definitely room for talking about tough topics. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about needless critique, judgment, negativity. When you use and speak those needless, judgy words, you're sending like an infected vibration out that just bloop, brings everything down. And you feel it sometimes. You ever call on the phone and somebody's just in a mood and it's not about anything important. It's not like, oh my God, I'm going through this tough time, but it's just like total needless judginess. And you're like, called to like get some upliftment and not feeling it, just feel even more down. Well, actions versus the words that we put out. Oh my gosh, action is something that can just create, build up, right? And words can so tear us down. And I think that they really, really do. I'm going to talk about that in 1 minute. First, I just want to say, I think we're all aware of this, but if you're not, our entire lives online are completely rigged by the algorithms to just want us to be in that needless judgment. Like the more that you needlessly comment judgy stuff on somebody's post, the more that you even just hop online and you see negativity and your nervous system goes, oh, you're in rage or you're in fury or you're this or you're that. It feeds off of that. All that online platforms are are either to nourish or totally infuse you with these negative emotions. And you have to choose what you're allowing your nervous system to come into contact with. Because if you're allowing yourself to just see all this negativity and absorb all this negativity, of course, you're going to become part of that cycle for that algorithm. The algorithm wants you to stay on longer. It wants you to hate more. It wants you to put more hate out into the world. It wants you to be like, I'm commenting on this. I'm going to show you, right? Okay. This is all your energetics, your nervous system, your life. And it's so much important than anything online could be. And here's why. The more you engage in that needless negativity, the more you stunt, S-T-U-N-T, stunt your own soul. And again, I'm saying there's actionable questioning. I wrote this down, where we have to talk about hard topics. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the needless stuff. Needless negativity stunts your soul at times, maybe even paralyzes it, because the judgment of you judging others is more than really just judgment itself. When I see a person just judging, what I know about that person 1,000,000,000% is it stems from them judging themselves. If a person is out there judging others, I know, and this should be your tool too. You know, if you're around somebody who's constantly judging and critiquing others, it's because they are 1,000,000,000 times harder on themselves. Tell me I'm wrong, because I know I'm not. I've seen this over and over and over again. And the reason that they're judging themselves, it really stems so much from the fear that they have inside. They have so much fear that they cannot visualize themselves putting themselves out there or really using their soul's gifts, spiritual gifts in this world, no matter what aspect of life that is in, because they are deathly afraid of what others will say, what others will think, or how others will judge them. Because when you judge needlessly, you know that there are others out in the world who are judging back, right? And you're scared of those people. But can I tell you a secret? The creators in life have learned not to judge. Not because they don't have opinions, not because judgments don't flood in, but because they have learned that when they judge, bad returns to them. And they have learned how hard the process is of creation, and that the only people who really don't judge as much are the ones creating too. So Brené Brown brought back this quote that was something like that. Like, she wasn't going to listen to the people in the stands. She was only going to listen to the people who are in the ring, the gladiators in the ring who are fighting. I forget who that quote first comes from, but she brought it back to life. And it's so true, because you watch other creators. They don't often tear down, judge, and criticize others because they're actively in the state of creating. They're actively in the place of living their soul's purpose. And they know others are going to judge them. They know that 1,000,000,000%, but they're not going to contribute to it. They're going to be part of action, not of words. They're going to be part of bringing through their actions more love into this world than by tearing the world down with words, than ripping the world with words. Does this make sense? So the remedy for those who are really so deathly scared of putting themselves out there because they're secret judgers is don't judge. Don't judge. Don't act as the judge. Don't be the judge. Don't say the words out loud. And when you think the words, pray. Pray it away. God, a judgmental thought came in. I don't want to have this. I give it over to you. I wish the best for this person. I want only love for them. I send them infinities of love and angels and blessings and miracles. And may this person live the best life that they can ever possibly live, right? And instead of being the judger, you make yourself the doer. And the doer knows that yes, there will be those who judge, but that we don't care about the words that they speak. We don't care about the comments that they write on Facebook. We don't care about the negativity that they pour into our face and into our lives and the time they try to absorb, because they don't matter. I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a positive way. They don't matter. The Creator looks at people who are judging and says, "Oh, dear soul, I once was where you are, and I'm so glad I'm not today." No. Yes and no. They just look on with compassion, right? And be like, "Oh, okay, that's where that soul is. No worries. I'm going to continue with my life." And so what the angel said is, ooh, drum roll, please. Brrr. For 1 year, can you have zero needless judgment out into the world? That's my mission for you. 1 year challenge. Can you put out zero needless judgment out into the world? Can you, for 1 year, infuse the world with more love by being the love that the world needs? By listening to God, by listening to your intuition, by taking action on those small little things that God, universe, source says. If you are in the business, I know a lot of healers listen to this podcast, of doing readings, of doing sessions, you know that in the years where there is an economic downturn, where there is something massive and catastrophic that happens in the world, that your readings are actually what you do more of. So this year, I actually have made, or I'm on track to make in this year, more money from readings. And I'm not telling you this to be like, "Oh, look at me." I'm telling you this to make a point. More money than the last 2 years of readings combined, because of the state of the world and where everything is at. So I'm meditating a couple weeks ago, and God comes in. And God goes, "Julie, I need something from you." I'm like, "Okay, cool, God, what do you need?" "I need you to lower your rate to what it was before you had a vocal disorder." Okay, done. I actually increased my rate a while ago because I had a vocal disorder, because I didn't know how I was going to make ends meet for my family. And Spirit goes, "There will be those who support you through this. It is okay to lower it." So when God came in and said, lower your rate, it wasn't out of necessity. It wasn't because I needed to. It was because Spirit and God came through and said, "We need you to do this." Okay, so I lowered the rate. I put it out there. It's the exact same session that I've always done. There's just a 60-minute option, a 30-minute option. People can come in home to my house now. I've got the dining room set up with the massage table. You can still come online virtually. And either way, totally cool. The exact same session that I've always done. And what was I going to say? Oh, I put it out there. And I had over 40 women book a reading in less than 48 hours. It was incredible. And last week I did 16 readings. Every single person who came through goes, "Julie, I have to tell you something." They said, "I've been praying for this. I've been praying for a way to connect with you." And I had one woman, it's going to make me cry. She had her journal and she had written it down. And she goes, "I just need you to see this, that I have been praying this, and that I'm just so glad that you were, able and willing to listen when God called you to do this, because I wouldn't have been able to do a reading otherwise. And the readings have just been so incredible, where Spirit is coming in with all of this new information that I've never brought through before. They're showing me so many fun things. In every reading, people have been like laughing and crying, and we're just going through all of the emotions together as their loved ones and their angels come through. And I think that that's what this work is about. I think I could have looked at that and said, well, if I do that, God, then people are going to shame me, or they're going to think this, or they're going to think that, or they're going to judge. And I have had people come up and say a couple of comments, and I was like, no, I didn't have to go do that. I did that because God asked me to, and I said yes, which is the honest to God truth. So you have to make choices. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just using my life as an example to show you that you're going to go through things. You're going to go through things like the vocal disorder that I went through, or something that you have to go through as a soul. And God is going to show you the way through at that time. And then you're going to go through that, and you're going to pivot. Life is all about pivoting, because you're not just a creator in one area. If you're a creator, and all of us have an intuition, all of us get inspired. We're all creating in different aspects of life. Even if you're an accountant, you can create different systems and methods, and a lawyer, We all have the ability to connect one-on-one with other people's hearts. We all have the ability to bring more love into this world and through our creations. So I guess the angels are just asking you, what do you want to be a part of? Do you want to hold on to those needless judgments? And maybe you're not a person who does. Awesome. I think most people who listen to this podcast do not. Or do you want to be a person who goes, Mom, that's the best album I've ever listened to. Go listen to it again. And a person who uplifts, and a person who just sees the world with rose-colored glasses, and who takes action based on what God is telling them, and just infuses more love into this world. That's what I want for myself in my own life. That's what I hope you want for your life, because I will tell you, the more that you take action and just create based on what God is showing you, you don't judge anymore because you don't want to. It's not fun. It's so much fun to hop into another person's story and mind and inspiration, and to just live in the art that they have created. That to me is where I really find true enjoyment in life, is seeing things from the intuitive perspective of another creator, and getting to see the world more beautifully through their eyes in that way. So speaking of creating, I'm actually not promoting. I actually have a really, really big question for you, and I need your help with this. So every year I do things special for my annual angel members. The people who are annual members are the people who pay for the membership in full one time for the year, and they get a discounted price to do that. And so I always like to do special things for them. And what I've been hearing God Universe say is provide each person who signs up for the annual membership option with a free 1-hour reading, and also free tuition to a retreat in 2026, or like a really low cost if I need to pay for the room, like a $99 cost. But basically just like free tuition. Obviously, room, food, travel is all on your own, but the tuition would be free for annual members to that retreat that we do for members. So, and retreats are open to anybody, but that would just be the members who come. So for those annual paying members, if you want to sign up this year, tell me what it is that you would like me to add in as the perks for being an annual member. You can text me, you can DM me, you can email me, Julie at theangelmedium.com. Whatever you want to see in there, I want to add it in because I want to be of service to you. I love you so incredibly much. And I know that the angel membership is really what people need. It's I created the membership, side story, because in each one of my readings, let's say I do a 60-minute reading right at the beginning, Archangel Michael would be like, okay, that person's going through a divorce. They really need to understand X, Y, and Z about fear. Oh my gosh, this person just, is going through a job challenge, financial challenge. They need to know X, Y, and Z. So when I would get done with a reading, sometimes the angels would sit down with me and go, we have more to say. And so I created all these different courses based on all that different information that the angels had. And in 2026, I'm going to be doing something different where I do all new content. I don't mean this in a bad, negative way. There are just a lot of people who have totally modeled everything that they do after my work. And it's made me go, okay, that's beautiful. Such a beautiful compliment. But I want to offer all new stuff to the members because the angels really want to work with you. And so this year, what I'm really planning for this year in the angel membership, starting really November 1st, is that we're working very heavily with angels every single week. So every single Wednesday night, we get together, 7 p.m. Central Time, and I do different lives. And so all this year, I'm teaching you different tools, techniques. We're trying different exercises together where you're working specifically with your angels and seeing your relationship with different angels grow. And you're getting results right then and there, like right in the moment. So anything that you want me to add into the angel membership, let me know. I'm planning all of it and I will happily add that in. Okay, friends, I love you so much. 1 year challenge, 0 needless judgment, and infusing the world with more love. So I am going to go listen to Life of a Showgirl by Taylor. And she's got one quote that I really, really love. And it's in The Fate of Ophelia, which is just such a beautiful song. And she says, I swore my loyalty to me, myself, and I. And I thought to myself, ooh, that's such a good line. I swore my loyalty to me, myself, and I. Why? Because the only way that God works through you is through you. So when you pledge allegiance to yourself, you are pledging allegiance to listening to every directive that God brings you in your life. And friends, if that is all you ever do, is listen to that little heart whisper within your heart, God will always lead the way. And I promise you, you will live a life of zero regrets. Zero regrets. So go listen to that and tell me it's not the best album. Oh my gosh, I love Reputation. Reputation has a very, very special place in my heart. I think this is up there on par with Reputation, if not my favorite album. So go listen. I love you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day. And reach out to me, book a session, tell me what you want, and I'm here to create it for you. Love you, friends. Mwah. Beautiful souls, we have so many freebies to help serve you, your family, and friends. Want a weekly message from your angels emailed to you? Sign up on my website to receive a weekly message of love, hope, and healing from the angels. Do you have a prayer request? Go to the homepage of my website and submit your prayer request so that our team of prayer warriors can be praying for you daily. Want to learn more about the angels and energy healing? Subscribe to my YouTube channel called Julie Jancius to learn more about the angels, energy healing techniques, and so much more. One of the biggest things we hear from our listeners is that they have no one to talk to about their spiritual awakening. We created a private Facebook group called the Angels and Awakening Podcast Tribe so that you could connect with others like you and know that you're not alone. So be sure to join this group on Facebook to get the support you need. Want a free session? We plan to give away over 240 free sessions with students in the Angel School per year. To win a free session, subscribe and rate this podcast 5 stars. Then write a positive review and email us a screenshot. That way we know who to contact when you win. Want to share your uplifting angel story on the podcast? Because we love sharing them. Please write down your angel story and email it to us. Don't forget, be an angel and share this podcast with someone who needs it. See you back here next time for another episode of the Angels and Awakening podcast.